So we're back interviewing another amazing POW conference speaker. So really excited to have Valerie Myers at the Practice Operations and Workflow Conference. She is a kindred spirit in the sense that I think she likes having her fingers in a lot of things and even encourages her
Yeah,
people to do
right.
that. And
Yeah.
what do they call it? Multi-passionate now is our new term for this. So
Yeah, right.
so, Valerie, before we get into your topic, tell me a little bit about Valerie, how you ended up doing what you're doing, what's your main gig and your side hustles, and give me the
Yeah.
lowdown.
All right. So I am a group practice owner called the Kids Therapy Center. I have multiple locations in North Dakota.
Wow.
I had a passion for kids. Opened my own gig, just like most people, to have more freedom, time freedom, which ended up wanting to provide an environment for other counselors or mental health professionals that were like me
Mm.
that needed some independence, right? And wanted to be able to provide but wanted the flexibility of doing what I wanted to do. Anyway, so in that, my goal was to also provide staff or other mental health professionals with the same idea that together we could have a group practice, but individually we could still have our own business on the side
Mhm.
of other ways of bringing in income. So another plan B, basically, right? So within my clinic, I mentor my staff to be business owners on the side. So they might have a training project going on. They might be public speakers. They might be experts for court testimony. They might sell something on the side, basically, right? The idea is that together we're better
Mhm.
than having your own individual business, right? So that's kind of what
Well,
my
and it
one is
scratches,
about.
it seems like it scratches that itch that can lead people out of group practice, which is fine. Like that's their journey. But I think a
Mhm.
lot of people's next when they go into solo practice is that part of them that can be fulfilled in other ways and even empowered by a practice, you know? So in fact, that's part of what we, as semi-private practice, virtually all my coaches are just department heads at my practice where I thought, this is a great way to let them do what I do and give them some more skin in the game and
Yep.
diversify their income. And
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. It's like, like many business owners, we have a lot of ideas, but we can't really do all those ideas. But I also believe in helping them find their own gift,
Mhm.
right? Like I have some that are really good at public speaking, but they might be really good at a different topic than I am, right? It's like, no, take that and run with it. I might know the ins and outs of the business behind it, and I can help you with that.
Mhm.
So that's kind of, I always say when I'm mentoring a business owner or whatnot, is to find the gifts of your staff and run with that. Don't micromanage the things that they're bad at. Use the things that they're good at.
So your title for your session is People First, Practice Strong. And I think a lot of people, I'm not against systems, but I think there's been this whole trend in the practice coaching community that it's about systems and accountability and these other things. And that's what makes for a strong practice. Um, but you're putting people at the front of that, not just doing the like culture matters, but you're actually helping them develop a unique identity as part of keeping your practice strong. Is that's kind of what the topic
Right.
is?
Yeah. 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 So it's just walking through some of that stuff. I do as a kid therapist, I have an attachment-based model that I might look at times on how, when finding somebody's gifts, how do you do that?
Mm,
But also, I call it an ego check
mm,
that you really want these people to be better than you at some point,
mhm,
if you can, right? And those of us that are good will rise to the top. And guess what? And if they leave and they're successful, great, you were part of that,
mm.
right? The reality is a lot of it does keep that retention down because you're having fun doing it together,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
That when they see that you're really there for them, they they feel that trust, right? Uh, and so it does become very fun that, like, hey, this is ours or this piece is yours, right? And when they see
Yeah,
those checks coming in, it's really fun. It's a really fun feeling for them, like, oh my gosh, my boss just helped me make more
mm.
money. Yeah, it's pretty
Why
fun.
would you leave a place that actually helps you spread your wings? Like,
Yeah,
you become the
yeah,
nest that they return to for sure. Well, and I think
yeah.
that's I think there's a lot of pain that I see from practice owners of feeling like after I've worked so hard to create this place, people don't appreciate it.
Hmm.
And I think the
Hmm.
reality is they do appreciate it for their first season of being there, but practice
Hmm.
owners forget that just like us, they're not static and they need evolution and challenge,
Yes.
and
Yes.
so you can give it to them
Yes.
or they can go find it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And sometimes they don't want that safe space. They want to do it themselves, which is great. But a lot of times people do like that networking and that company of you've done this already, or like in our field, especially business.
Mm,
Counselors aren't trained in business.
mm,
Mental health providers aren't typically trained in business. So just understanding, like, I understand law and ethics really well, right?
mm,
And running a general business where most of them don't. So it's
mm.
teaching those ins and outs to
Yeah.
them as they start to
What it
grow.
makes me think of, and I don't know that I've thought of it this way, even though we've got a lot of practice owners that we see and coach that are dreaming about co-ops or collaboratives or whatever,
Hmm.
but it almost feels like co-working. Like I've hung out in a few of the WeWork spots and some other ones, and
Hmm.
it really is this hodgepodge of different people on different journeys, but on the same train at that moment. Like
Hmm.
we're all going to a
Hmm.
different destination, but riding together. And I think that's a little different than kind of the collective or collaborative model because it really
Yeah.
is much, much bigger than just the straightforward provision of therapy services is what you're doing.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
somebody is not fortunate enough to come hear you, we hope they come to PAL conference
Hmm.
and hear you, but somebody feels like they need to go down this road of supporting multi-passionate clinicians, lowering their own emotional exposure by creating a place that people don't want to leave through that. Like, what is the first step? I mean, I think a lot of practice
Hmm.
owners, by the way, mistakenly say, "Well, I need to give them a leadership position," and
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
want more, so they say yes. It's not really leadership. I mean, that's not what they're dreaming of, but I need something. And the
Hmm.
practice owners are looking for something, and everybody wonders why it went so wrong. What is the
Hmm.
first step, if not just handing out leadership positions like Johnny Appleseed?
Yeah. I actually say the first step is your own self-care.
Mm,
Because if you can't do an ego check yourself as a supervisor, how can you allow somebody to become better than you at some point if
mm,
that happens,
mm.
right? To truly allow them to be, uh, to grow, to give them
Yeah,
that space to grow. And sometimes that might be your own self-healing to allow that space, and then that comes for my leaders too. Like I do a lot of projects together. I do projects together. I do public speaking together. I do a lot of things together just so that they can get a taste of everything before you are like, okay, here you go, right?
yeah.
Like, no, you do this one yourself, right? And usually my staff will say, okay, I think I can do this one, right? And it's
Mm,
like, you can't go wrong. If they ask you something you don't know, just you'll get back to me. Just check your
yeah.
resources, right? Um,
Well, and that ego piece is a huge one. It makes me think, our job is not to create mini me's, but different than
mhm,
me's.
mhm,
And I think I
mhm.
try and stay away from the sports analogies, but most world championship teams in any sport are led by a coach or manager who was not nearly as good as their players are. I mean, they never
Right.
played at that level, but they're really good at taking people better than them, not letting that bother them, and
Mhm,
setting them up for success as a team. And that's,
mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
hmm,
Yeah. It's fun, but it
hmm.
can also be hard, right?
Yeah.
Because
Oh yeah.
we might care more than they do.
Hmm.
We might see the potential and they don't know yet. It's really understanding those stages of your career and your life as well. Um, and so that's as a leader, as a business owner, we just always have to keep learning ourselves so that we can understand personalities that we work with.
Yeah, love it. Well, we're super excited to see you at the POW conference. If somebody's not going to be there and they want more Valerie in their world, what are the Valerie brands? How do they find you? Are you available for coaching and
Okay.
consulting? Like, give me the
Yep.
all paths lead to Valerie.
Okay,
Speech.
so my main clinic is the Kids Therapy Center. I designed a kids therapy training institute.
Mm.
On that, which these websites all intertwine. I do have a management and leadership membership that is starting soon. I do
Cool.
have provide group supervision. I designed a certification in holistic mental health. So some of the
Mm.
things that I already do in my practice, I do at a national level as well with other clinics. I do also have a program called Kids Need Wellness, and it's teaching parents to do things similar as that we do. And that does have a holistic mental health twist to it as well. There's some memberships there as well. So you can see me in a variety of programs
Love
that
it.
have come from Kids Therapy Center into more thing. When it comes to leadership and management, I would say the Kids Therapy Training Institute has a lot of those things there. You'll see programs to classes I've done. This talk that I'm doing, there's a recording that will be on there shortly. I have my attachment-based supervision class on there, some of those types of things. So
And what's
yeah,
the website for that?
it's tktctraining.org.
Perfect.
Yeah,
tktctraining.org.
yeah, yeah,
Perfect. Well, we're super excited to have you. Thanks for being willing to do a session, and you're also on our nonprofit panel. So,
yeah,
really
yeah,
excited to let everybody learn from you. I'm for sure sitting in on your panel. It's one of the things that is still on my bucket
yeah,
list to do list. So, we're
yeah.
excited to have you. We will see you in a couple weeks.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm excited to be there.
Thanks, Valerie.
Thank you.